This is going to be my reaction video to the Ravens' 1917 win over the Bengals in Week 5, a classic AFC North matchup. If you're a new Ravens fan, maybe somebody that's only been around for the last 3, 4 years, this is what the old days were like. It was constantly that situational management in your next to last possession or even your possessions in the third quarter to kind of set yourself up, to give you as wide of a net to fall on, when you do have a closer like Justin Tucker. And I would say that Lamar is a closer too. I have a lot to say about Lamar and Tucker and a lot of guys, but the title of the video, Take the Points, it's meant to have like three meanings for real. It's a reference back to last week, which is old stuff at this point, so we can ignore it. We've moved on. This is a great win. We should celebrate it. It's also kind of like a little commentary about Zach Taylor, the Bengals coach. They went for it on 4th and 1, and their last two plays in those situations didn't even get the ball to some of their premier playmakers. Their 4th and goal play was a shovel pass. Marcus Peters made a great play. I think someone else was in there involved as well. So there's something to be said for him and his decision not to take the points that allows us to go. I mean, we're on our -2. 2:35 left in the third quarter, something like that. I think it's our 8th possession of the game, and Lamar takes us 98 yards. We kick a field goal to go up 16-10, and there's a lot to be said about that possession. I will show that possession breakdown here in a moment. I'm not sure this is going to be a super long reaction video. Trying to get this out, at the time of recording, it's midnight Eastern Standard Time. It's a great day to be a Ravens fan, and look, to be honest with you, it should be a day that Bengals fans are proud of. They didn't have T. Higgins. The Ravens presented them with some tactical issues, but I think now this is like the 4th or 5th game out of 5 that the Bengals have been presented with these tactical issues, whereby their offense is being limited from the big play because of people playing. It's not so simple to just say it's too high safeties. There's a lot of other things there, but credit to the Bengals offensively. They did figure some things out. They had us in a bind from mid-second quarter on. And if you look at the play rundowns, they were able to do some things, but what they weren't able to do is generate those big plays. Credit to Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters and the whole defensive backfield. Marcus Williams is going to be out for a while, at least a month, I would say, if not more. But those guys played well. They gave Burrow some reads that made him hesitate a little bit, and then the pass rush got there. So many guys played well. The third part of Take the Points is directed at Harbaugh for tonight. 13-10, and we're driving. I thought we gave their defense problems. If it weren't for the interception that Lamar threw, which was a bad throw in the first half, and the missed overthrow to Tylan Wallace, who's wide open. I'm not even going to count the one to Duvernay. It's a long throw. Duvernay is open and available, but I'm not going to speak on that one. The interception, and then the horrible overthrow to Wallace along the right sideline on 4th down, really changes the complexion of the game. It could have been a larger differential, but I'm going to explain later. I think it was actually a good thing. But in any case, 13-10, we're facing 4th down, and we take the points, 16-10. That sets us up perfectly to win the game 19-17. Some of us actually even said that in a Discord, for real. So take the points has, multiple meanings. Justin Tucker made a 58-yarder, then made the game winner, 43-yarder, I believe. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. I didn't listen to his interview. I was already working on the reaction video. But take the points. I think it's a strategy that we should kind of live by. We've kind of gone down that rabbit hole of gambling and going for it on 4th down a lot. That's not who we are. It doesn't seem like that's who we are. Tonight is probably the best representation of who this football team is. Even last week against the Bills. Look at the situation that what Lamar does. And some people didn't like it in my Discord when I said it. It's fine. I said this is the biggest drive of his career. We're up 13-10, late third quarter. If he couldn't generate something for us, and then the Bengals get the ball right back, they had us in such a bind defensively at that point, I thought, that it looked like they were going to get it. They would get a touchdown eventually. And Lamar answered the call. By my count, in the 8th and 9th possession, I think we had 9 possessions overall. If we had 10 possessions, then it was our 9th and 10th. Those 2 possessions, I put it on Twitter. I think he was 6 of 8 passing. Most of those completions to Andrews. One of the incompletions was batted down at the line of scrimmage. And I can't remember what the other incompletion was. He had 57 yards rushing. We did a great job on those 2 drives. We did a great job of sprinkling in the QB power read, QB counter read, and when the Bengals went to their little 6-man, blitz zero pressure, we called 2 run plays in that situation and gashed them. And in my opinion, we kind of convinced them not to play it as much later on, even though certainly they did play it, on our last drive. Andrews and Duve played amazing. They deserve a lot of credit. Duvernay is a warrior. Andrews is a monster. The talent level that Andrews has is incredibly high, number one. And then a couple of the catches that he made tonight I thought were tough contested catches. And that Bengals defense is legit. I think we come out of the Bengals-Bills games, and I think that's a true representation of who we are at this time. But full strength, Bengals team, full strength, Ravens team is going to be an absolute war. And I don't know if it'll happen in the last week of the regular season. I don't know if it'll happen in the playoffs. But these 2 teams and the Bills look like teams that are meant to fight like this. And the situational awareness of the coaches and the situational play calls is something that needed to improve, and I think it did tonight. If you're not willing to give credit to Greg Roman, I'm not going to respond to you. For real. It ain't supposed to be easy at this high of a level of play, and the way he called the game tonight was brilliant. Brilliant. The 4th down call when Lamar missed Wallace, up top to the right, brilliant call. We took 2 other shots downfield. I thought they were perfectly timed. Whatever we're doing on our counter run, wind back run plays is amazing. Lamar's opening to our right, and then the running back is getting the ball and then winding it back to the other side behind like a pulling lineman. Sometimes the right guard and the right tackle are pulling. Sometimes Ricard and the right guard are pulling. And then tonight, Lamar started keeping it. Some of us kind of talked about that a little bit in the lead up to the game concerning the way the Bengals handle the option. And they kept giving credit to Sam Hubbard, and he's a great player. Don't get me wrong, he's a great player. But there was yards there for Lamar on the keep because of what the Bengals were doing with Hubbard. So credit Greg Roman, the offensive staff, Lamar, the players for the execution. I thought we found some things that worked, and we were putting the Bengals defense in a bind for real. I'm gonna let some of these pictures run, and here in a minute or two, I'm gonna talk about the 8th possession. Creative play calls, timely play calls. And I'm going to talk about one play call specifically here in a moment. It's a 2nd and 6, and we're in Bengals territory, or we're approaching Bengals territory, excuse me. I think we're just on our side of the midfield on the last possession, and we call QB power read, and it hits for 29. It was a back-breaking moment for the Bengals defense. Back-breaking. And then, of course, the 3rd and 1 that I think JK picked up. Or maybe it was Lamar. I can't remember that call, but we'll see it here in a moment. Because I'm going to show you the possessions. All right? And then after I talk about the possessions, I'll talk about our defense because they deserve a lot of credit too. The staff, the players, the execution. Humphrey, Peters, JPP, Owe, Calais Campbell. I thought they were brilliant, all the way around. Making tactical decisions. Hopefully that font, if that text or font is blurry for you guys, please let me know. I can't change it, but I would feel terrible. A great game such as this with great graphics that my partner here has provided me with, who I can't identify yet, but I will someday, has provided me with unbelievable graphics. I would feel bad if I gave you some blurry text or blurry font there. But, defense, the tactics was spectacular, if you ask me. Put us in position to hold down a talented group of Bengals, a talented Bengals team. And they had us in a bind with Hayden Hurst at tight end and a running back on the same side. I call it Pro Twins A-Gun. I drew it up on Twitter for someone who asked. I'll do it in another video here later on. So they had us in a real bind, but we made plays when we needed to. Even the 3rd down catch that was completed to Chase, that was supposed to be like a back shoulder, Marlon was there to challenge. Been saying it for weeks. Marlon Humphrey's balling. Don't need to say, 4 words that would indicate shallow character by me. But Marlon Humphrey's balling still. Peters is a warrior, man. He had penalties tonight. He was handsy. Good. I'm glad. Make their receivers have to deal with someone who's physical. Like Ray used to say, what are they going to do when somebody's touching them? So I'll get to the defense a little bit more. I would like to talk about Our 8th possession, it's after the goal line stand. When they went for it, when they didn't take the points. I think it begins with like 2:35 left in the fourth. There's the play rundown for you on the screen. Linderbaum apparently goes down after a 3rd and 7. And like I said earlier, some people in my Discord kind of like, I guess they thought I was being inflammatory. I said, this is the biggest drive of Lamar's career. And I know it's week 5 and we've got a long season left, but this was a moment for him and this Ravens team to establish themselves or reestablish themselves, however you want to say it, as a team that can win with our offense on the field. We didn't go down and go up 20-10. You see at the bottom, obviously, we kicked the field goal on 4th and 1 to go up 16-10. I want to talk about some of these calls. I want to talk about the last 3rd down call first. The 3rd and 6 you see at the bottom from the Bengals 8-yard line. A beautiful play. We go Likely in motion from right to left. Can you believe they mispronounced Isaiah Likely's name? Can you believe that? Anyway, and Lamar hits him in the flat short, and he gets 5 yards, almost gets it. In my opinion, Likely's just got to put his head down and bull there to get the first down. But, great effort by him, great effort by the Bengals. I would just like to see him use his size and bulk to, get the first down. Certainly he was trying. I thought that was a great play call. Going all the way back up to the top, the 3rd and 6 to Andrews, the slant. It's the 3rd play from the top. Trips right B, and we go Andrews in the middle on a slant. Perfect throw by Lamar, impeccable. As critical as I was and will continue to be about the missed throws earlier in the game and the interception specifically, this throw was amazing. It hit between the 2 linebackers. Lamar waited for the front side inside linebacker to clear. Andrews crossed his face, but he kind of had to throw it on Andrews' back shoulder to keep it away from the backside inside linebacker, who I think was Wilson. 20-yard gain. Amazing. QB counter read on the next play for 7. 1st and 10, 2 plays later. A play action throw to Andrews was amazing. Right to left, 19-yard gain. Over top of a second-level defender. I think it was a safety, but I could be wrong. And then in front of the corner. Then the 3rd and 7. That one was shocking. Linderbaum gets hurt on that play. Complete to Andrews, right to left. I think near the bottom of the numbers on the left side of the screen. So we converted 2 third downs on throws from Lamar to Andrews. The Bengals knew that Andrews was our guy, right? We were going to. And then 2, I thought, huge plays on this drive. Given the fine to do late, when it looked like Wilson, I think Collinsworth even talked about it. Wilson looked like he delayed blitzed, and then Duvernay kind of went, not a whip or China out route, like I call it, but he kind of did go in a little bit, and then once Lamar extended the play, he went back towards the right sideline. Lamar found him. I thought it was a 9-yard gain, but they gave us the first down, 10-yard gain. Huge moment. We get down there to the 12. It looks like we're going to go in, and we don't. The fake sweep, and Lamar kept it for 4 yards. I kind of wanted to see us attack there for real, but the running game was working in spurts, and different guys had impact. Drake had a good run here on this drive. JK had some good runs, actually 2 amazing runs, I thought. The 3rd and 6 call I thought was brilliant. We take the points. Wonderful. I thought in that moment from the 3rd quarter to the 4th quarter, Lamar played exceptional. In this 9th possession, once the Bengals go up 17-16, it was brilliant play calling, brilliant use of our personnel. Smart, savvy, and tough play by Lamar. We had to screen to Andrews first against what looked like blitz 0. Then Andrews again for 6 or 7. Some of my yards there are off, because I'm typing this and we're going hurry up, obviously, because we get the ball back with, I think we got the ball back with 1:59 left in the game, right? Hendrickson was everywhere. I talked in a preview video or live stream about Hendrickson being a little bit of a, I don't know what the word is, but he talks a little too much if you ask me. But he's a great player, man. You would love to have somebody like that on your team. He chases Lamar on the 3rd play. Lamar gets 4. 2nd and 6, I did not expect this play. We go flex and we're on QB power read. No motion. And a huge gain right side. Lamar kind of dips and weaves in between the defense, like around the 8. After gaining like 7 or 8 yards, he kind of cuts out and then cuts back in. Huge lane, almost took it to the house. 29 yards. That really, if you ask me, was a dagger. And then the final dagger, and I was wrong earlier about what I said, is the 3rd and 1 call, QB power read to our left out of jokers. So we had Ricard and a running back there. I believe that was JK, but I could be wrong. Lamar gets it. So basically we don't give the Bengals a chance to score. We going to finish the game either winning or losing with Justin Tucker, and we all know how it ended. Beautiful situational play calling, if you ask me. I love the fact that we ran the ball some on this drive, and there may be some people who are like, "Yeah, well, y'all had to run the ball to win, like it doesn't count or something." You know what I mean? You do what you can do in the situation you're in, and what the Ravens could do tonight was mix in the run and the pass. We're missing, Bateman. I thought was a big loss. It was obviously huge to see Ronnie Stanley come back and play. I don't know how the second half worked out, for him playing. I have no idea. We didn't get updates on that. It didn't seem like Collinsworth and the broadcast people were really too focused on saying great things about the Ravens. Like, it seemed like they wanted to talk about Burrow, and it kept showing his mom and dad. Sometimes it trips me out a little bit. I'm like, you can't talk about Lamar's mom being the leader of that family and trying to lead him through this situation now, getting a contract that'll provide generational wealth for her, him, and probably his great grandkids if further down the line. Like, I don't know. It just bothers me a little bit that good for Burrow and the things they talked about and his mom and dad. They made sure to talk about like um company, something he's established to try to help people. That's fantastic. They could talk about Lamar the same way. And I felt like as a Ravens fan, long time as a Ravens fan, I could kind of perceive some things that they like about Burrow and they don't like about Lamar. So defensively, let's talk about the defense. Humphrey and Peters were balling. That shouldn't be surprising. Peters got 2 pass interference or holding penalties. The one pass interference I thought was a bad call. He clearly did impact the play by his foot contacting Chase's foot, but it was not intentional, so I don't know where you draw the line there. I thought that contact with the feet was not supposed to be defensive pass interference. They could have called a hold, though. You got to hold some with Jamar Chase dealing with that guy. He's a real problem. There is only one Jamar Chase. Justin Jefferson's great. Devontae Adams is great. So many, great receivers across the league. I'm forgetting some names right now. Tyreek Hill. But Jamar Chase is one of one. He is a specific threat. And in my opinion, Wink did not adjust well to that threat last year. I'm not trying to bring up old stuff, but the coverages we played last year kind of played into Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow's hands in week 7. When we faced them in Cincinnati, we had a completely different team on the field. Injuries had ravaged our DB core. And obviously, Marlon was gone. Marlon Humphrey was out by at that point. Peters was out for the whole year. Tonight was great tactics. Great tactics. JPP played with a lot of force. Oweh played well. There's 2 obvious holds on Oweh that don't get called. Like, what is it about that guy that holds don't get called against him? And I know that, sometimes our guys hold as well. But it happens to Oweh a lot. I don't know how to fix that, how to mitigate that dynamic. Now, McDonald deserves credit. If you're one of them people, out there last week and in other weeks talking about McDonald, and I was. I hated our coverage versus empty last week. We were way more sound tonight, but we did still give up yards on empty screens to the 3 receiver side. So there are some things that teams are. Actually, it was first play of the game. First play of the game for the Bengals was empty with 3 receivers to the left, screen to Chase to the 3 receiver side to their left, our right. So NFL teams are seeing it too. I may sound like a jerk the way that I bring it up, but it's factual. We have problems lining up to empty to the trip side, to the 3 receiver side. And the Bengals, I thought, went to that concept 3 times tonight. So there's still something there. But, man, great job of alignment. Great job of identifying the threats by our players, our coaches, McDonald included. We made the tactical decision to try to limit the Bengals' ability to make plays downfield because it's a very unique threat. Like, just give them credit. Just give the Bengals credit for what they've assembled and the unique threat that they are. Most of the time, like a Tom Brady, a Peyton Manning, whoever else, they're going to execute particular pass concepts where they're going to read something, identify something, and it's if-then. If you do this, I do that. Bang, 8 yards. If you do that, I do this. Bang, 16 yards. The Bengals' threat's a little different. It's more matchup based, and this is not meant to take anything away from Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, but it's more so like, okay, you're a man. I got single coverage over here. Let's run a go between the bottom of the numbers and the sideline. Let me throw it up. And that is not a shot at Joe Burrow at all. It just means that because of the players and the talent that they have collected, they can do that because they have that much talent. Other teams weren't able to do that in the past because they weren't as talented. Give them credit. It's a talented wide receiver core, very specific threat. We adjusted to them tonight with our tactical decisions on defense. It's more in depth than just two high safety structures, and I haven't seen obviously the all 22, and the broadcast angle doesn't really show you much anyway. In my opinion, we put our players in position to succeed tonight. Bynes had good moments. They had us. The Bengals had us in a situation where they could run the ball away from the nickel defender. We're kind of like a man down there. And if the edge defender collapses inside the C gap in between the tight end and the tackle, then Mixon just bounces it. And if the edge defender stays outside and Hayden Hurst base blocks him, Hayden Hurst, if you ask me, I mean, Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins didn't play much after the first quarter. Those guys are all very important. Hayden Hurst is a huge part of that offense. His ability to run block tonight showed up on film. And it hadn't showed up on film as much for me in the film that I had watched, but I thought that his impact was huge. Huge. I mean, they went backside one-on-one, him against Marcus Peters. That should tell you something. He is a big part of their offense, and fully healthy, that offense is a different thing to deal with, but fully healthy, our defense is too. And I don't know about you, it was amazing to see Patrick Queen get that interception because Lamar had just, correct me if I'm wrong, Lamar had just thrown the pick, and that was a disappointing interception. I'll speak on that a little bit. It was not just behind the receiver, but it was high. Now, there was a corner that Robinson was running toward, but I thought the layering of Robinson in the corner allowed Lamar to throw it over top of the corner, kind of more in the direction that Robinson was running. But, I'll have to look at the play again, so I might be wrong there. But I thought that was a bad throw. The one to Wallace is incredibly bad. But what does a team do when someone makes a mistake? They pick each other up. Lamar throws a pick. Patrick Queen gets an interception. That moment was amazing. There's so many moments tonight that were fun to watch, fun to be a Ravens fan, fun to try to evaluate and analyze for you guys. That interception by Queen, I think, was born out of a couple of things. We played conservative defensively, kept everything in front. Jamar Chase is a baller. He's a weapon. At the moment that T. Higgins is out, they want to go to Chase. Look at some of the things they did on offense. They threw the screens to Chase. I'm not saying they never threw screens to him before, but I think they threw 3 to him tonight, maybe 4. They put him in the backfield and ran the ball with him. Second possession, they put him in the backfield and run like a little flare out into the flats with him. Oweh grabs him. Completely legal, smart defensive play. What Oweh should do is take his inside shoulder, his left shoulder, and put it in Jamar Chase's chin. That's what you should do when the back tries to cross your face if you're an outside linebacker. The Bengals were frustrated, and that interception by Queen, in my opinion, was Burrow forcing the ball to Chase where it was not there, which is rare because Burrow makes great decisions. So, I'm criticizing Lamar on his throws. Hey, Burrow, terrible throw. Terrible decision. Threw it right to the defender. But credit to Patrick Queen for being in that situation, securing the football. And in my opinion, to go a little bit deeper level, I've referred to it a couple of minutes ago. Credit to our defensive coaches for playing coverages and using strategy that eventually did frustrate the Bengals and force Burrow to make that decision. I shouldn't say force because it's not like we had pass rush on him in that moment, but anybody who's ever played sports, you got a great basketball player, you want to get him the ball. You got a great running back, you want to get him the ball. Jamar Chase is a receiver, so a little bit different. You got to do certain things to get him the ball, and in my opinion, you have evidence there that their play calling and maybe even their players offensively were frustrated because of the different ways they tried to get him the ball, and then the forced interception that Patrick Queen took advantage of. Awesome moment. A comment on our overall strategy, or a couple of comments. Everything was in line tonight, and that's why some of us have been so frustrated with some of our decisions in the past. I think it was Josh Hoffman or maybe someone else, forgive me if I'm remembering the wrong name, who talked about our conservative run plays against the Bills and the Dolphins, and then our decisions to go for it on 4th down, particularly against the Bills down in the end zone. Those two things are not aligned. Those two things don't seem to be coming from the same strategical standpoint, right? Conservative run game is conservative. Going forward on fourth down is not. And Harbaugh has defended it. We're past that. That was 6 days ago, 7 days ago, I guess, at this point. Uh, the tactics, the strategies, and the decisions by the coaches tonight seem to all line up. It was consistent. We had a conservative coverage defensively. We ran the ball a lot. I thought we ran the ball well. I don't know what we were. Overall for the night. 28 for 155. Again, I hope you guys can see that okay. It's a little blurry on my source screen. 28 for 155, of which Lamar was 12 for 58. Rushing. Kenyon Drake, 4 for 26. Duve, 3 for 24. I thought the toss play to him when he was in the backfield was awesome. I'd love to see more of that. Take the points is in line with the way that we won the game tonight. All right. Final comment. I think we saw a team become a team tonight. How does a group of people from different backgrounds, different places, some rookies, some 11-year vets, hell, Calais Campbell's been around for like 20 years, I guess. How does a group of people become a team? You go through adversity together. And I want to talk about Lamar's misthrows, because if we hit that throw to Wallace up the right sideline, we don't face adversity tonight. The way our defense played, like if we go up 17-3, we probably win 24-10 or 24-17, something like that. If we hit that throw. Would we like Lamar to hit that throw? Yes. Sitting here now, recording this after a 19-17 win, I'm glad he missed the throw. That's just going to sound crazy. I'm glad. Because now it gives people who hate Lamar, it still gives them something to talk about. I don't want the final resolution or the exclamation point or the period on who Lamar Jackson is to be decided by his haters in week 5. I want them to still be able to talk about it. I do. I want them to still be able to talk about it until, like, I don't know, whenever they play the Super Bowl, like around in February, something like that. February of 2023, maybe February of 2024. I want those haters to have to finally recognize his brilliance, because that's what they do. People hate on someone, they hate on someone, they hate on someone, and then that person wins a Super Bowl or they do something amazing in their life. God's blessed them to do something, and they take advantage of the opportunity and finally do it. And then the script has been flipped. All of a sudden now the haters are like, oh, he's so great. Oh, he was so amazing. He was those things the whole time, dummy. And so from the standpoint of Lamar missing throws, yeah, we want him to complete those throws. As it worked out, I'm kind of glad that he did, because we had that adversity to go through. We were down 17-16, 2 minutes left. Lamar, I don't think Lamar grew tonight. He is who he is. He's amazing. He's a great football player. He had an opportunity to show other people that, to open their eyes. And it doesn't really matter what I have to say about it. It matters that the people who sit there and hate on him over ridiculous things, he won a game tonight in the last second. Now they're going to focus on Tucker. Rightfully so, right? Tucker deserves all the credit. He's a rock. He's a superstar. But we had that adversity, and we battled through it. The guys grew together as a team. And even the coaches had adversity. Look at the adversity that Romans faced recently and in recent months. Some of it deserved, I guess. He went conservative against the Bills, went conservative against the Dolphins. Maybe he did go conservative tonight. I think that fit with our strategy, our overall strategy. We had a comprehensive strategy to win the game tonight, and the guys did it. McDonald deserves credit. Lamar, Andrews, Duvernay, man. Like, if you're not excited about Devin Duvernay, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know that anyone could have thought that he was going to be this good so consistently, but he damn sure is. And it's a good thing that we got him, because we get to appreciate when a guy like Bateman goes out, a talent like Bateman goes out, we get to appreciate Duvernay's skills a little more. Prochet had a catch tonight, I believe. You can correct me if I'm wrong. He was open on another play. Demarcus Robinson had an 8-yard catch on a play action, and then Lamar missed him with a throw. I was glad to see Likely get a couple of targets and take advantage of him. You guys let me know what you think of my thoughts. My final thought is going to be about someone that you probably don't expect me to talk about. The adversity that we faced, especially after Lamar throws the interception. And I can't remember what the score was at that point, for real, to be honest with you. The guy I want to talk about is Patrick Queen. All the things that have been lobbed at him, all the things, some of them from me for mistakes that he might make in a read or an angle or whatever. All the things that have been lobbed at that young man. I think he's 23. He made a huge play. Like, his confidence grew tonight. His stature in the team grew tonight. Oh, it really doesn't matter what I say. It matters what that young man thinks inside of him, and really ultimately matters what he believes. I think Patrick Queen and the defense tonight believe that they're a Ravens defense. And if Lamar completes that pass to Tylan Wallace, we don't get to see that adversity be overcome. The Bengals overcame adversity last year, so they kind of know who they are. Good for them. These are two evenly matched teams. I'm going to say something here in a minute that most people aren't going to like, whether you're a Ravens fan or a Bengals fan. But Patrick Queen, to me, believes in himself a little bit more as it stands right now than maybe he did coming into this game. And I think that the other players believe in him too. The thing that I'd like to say about the evenly matched nature or dynamic of these teams is this. I think right now, if they play each other 10 times, right now, we win 5 and the Bengals win 5. For real. And I know that Ravens fans don't like that. And Bengals fans don't like that. I have said those things before. I said those things to my team and an opposing team after we beat them in a championship game. There's like 100 people around, and I said that. So nobody here is going to be happy with what I have to say right now. I think if we play 10 times, y'all beat us 5 times, we beat you 5 times. And it was a whole bunch of 15-year-old kids and parents looking at me smirking like you all are right now. That's okay. I think we're evenly matched, and that says even more about what the Ravens were able to do tonight without David Ojabo, without Justin Houston, without Michael Pierce, without Rashad Bateman. Linderbaum goes down. Stanley was being rotated. There's so many things. There's so much drama there. It's almost like someone has their hand on the script. Let me put you through some adversity in week 2 at home against the Dolphins. Fail. Let me put you through some adversity in week 4 against the Bills. Fail. All the attention on your coaches. And then this week, everything becomes aligned. Everything kind of meets. They get to go to New York next week and face someone real familiar, Wink Martindale. He's familiar with our guys on defense. He's familiar with our offensive scheme. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully we go in there, full strength. We're not going to have Marcus Williams at this point. Hopefully Ronnie Stanley's all good and can play a little bit more. I thought there was a clear difference when Stanley was on the field versus when Macari was on the field, and I'm a big fan of Macari. Let me know what you think of some of my thoughts. I know I kind of rambled on there at the end, but there is a lot to say about this game. I kind of can't wait to produce content for you guys. I'm sure you watched all the other reaction videos and got your fix at this point. It's late. Appreciate you guys if you leave a like for the video and comment. And once it posts up, just let me know what you think of my thoughts and what you think of the Ravens' 19-17 win over the Bengals in Week 5.